Well, I've been asked if I can describe how to isolate some of the switches and the relay units that are built into the bike. It's going to be a difficult one. It's relatively easy to do, but you've got to realise that you have to follow the wires. You can't just go clipping coloured wires and taking wires out without knowing where they're going. So the art of it is to check where the wires go to and confirm they go to where you think they go before you remove them. And the main thing with the whole unit is the relay control box, which connects the side stand, the neutral switch, the clutch switch and the engine stop switch. They all join up via the relay control box. Once you've isolated that and took that out of the system, you can then go around and connect what needs to be connected. Some needs to be earthed, some need to be open circuit from the CDI unit, so the CDI unit will still run. Now, up to now, I've managed to isolate the relay control box and everything else up to the stage of actually dropping it into gear. So everything that I've done I know works, apart from dropping it into gear to see if the neutral switch has any effect on the CDI unit. If it does, all it needs to do is to isolate the switch with its own supply and to link the wire to an earth so the CDI thinks that it's in neutral and it will run. I'll show you the diagram and then I'll talk you through it as best I can. Right, well, this is a large printout of the circuit diagram. I don't know how well you'll see this on the video, but I'll add some shots, some photographic shots of it so you can piece it together as best you can. The main things that you've got to isolate are the clutch switch, side stand switch, neutral switch, relay diode unit, which is the relay control box, and in my case the fuel pump. So the first thing that we have to do is the clutch. The clutch is here on the circuit diagram. There's two wires that come from the clutch switch that go, one goes to the relay control box and the other wire carries along to the side stand switch. Now both them wires can be completely removed. One, you can follow it through and it will go to the relay control unit, which is here, and it will be joined and goes along to the side stand switch and also tees off to the main key switch. Now that complete wiring section can be removed. The other wire will go along directly to the relay control box. That wire can also be totally removed, so they can be taken out of the system or taken out of the wiring loom. The next thing was the side stand switch. The side stand switch will then be totally inactive because it goes through the main key switch, but it also feeds into the CDI unit. Now that wire that runs from the master key switch to the CDI unit has to be cut or removed from the key switch and earthed. Now that colour, as far as I'm concerned on this diagram, is blue and black. Now you'll have to confirm that on your bike because it may be different, but there's three wires that come out of one of these connectors. One is blue and red, the other one is blue and black, and the other one's just light blue. One of the wires, the blue and red, goes to the relay control unit. That can be taken out. The other two you leave intact. The blue, light blue and black needs to be earthed, and that will tell the CDI unit that the side stand is down and closed and it will let it run. Now from then on you've got the neutral switch. Now the neutral switch is over here on the circuit diagram. That comes up and feeds into the CDI and also feeds into the relay control box. You need to leave the wire intact up to the CDI, and then from the CDI to the control unit, the relay control unit can also be disconnected and removed. Now that's mainly most of the wires that go to the CDI, the control unit, sorry. You also got the fuel pump which runs through it. Now I've removed my fuel pump, I'm just going to have gravity feed, but if you're still going to use a fuel pump, you'll need to supply that with a totally independent 12 volt supply, which turns on when the ignition turns on. Right, now the relay control unit now has only got a couple of wires left connected. One's from the engine stop switch and the other one is from the 12 volt supply. And the 12 volt supply which comes in, which is a light blue, needs to be connected to the light blue and white cable that goes to the relay unit. So that can come off of the tag and be joined onto that one. That removes them two from the relay control unit. That should then leave the relay control unit totally disconnected, and you should be fine. Now everything else, as far as I'm concerned, will run from that position onwards. But like I say, follow the wires through, make sure they go to where you think they're going to go. And if you need one of these circuit diagrams, you can actually find them online. I've found a complete workshop manual as a PDF form online and just printed this out from there. Down the bottom you've got the colour codings, all down here. And down there you've got a big list of all what the numbers are, what the particular units are, like 12 is CDI ignition unit, and you've got a big long list so you can identify everything. And just follow the wires around. I'll show you a few close-ups and hopefully you'll have some idea of where it's going to go. There's the main key switch. Then wires come down and go to this unit, which is the side stand unit, and then they come back along here. There's the relay control unit. Then wires, all the ones in red squiggle are the ones that are removed. That goes to the CDI unit there, and then these two come down here, run along and go to the clutch unit. The side stand unit is over here, and that comes up with a little wire that runs to the CDI and then off to the relay control unit. Once you've isolated the relay control unit, you should be okay, but you must, the two important things initially are to make this link so you've got power to your start switch, and to make sure that this wire, the middle of these three, is earthed, in which case it should start. Now once you're in neutral, this wire here feeds the CDI. The other wire is disconnected anyway. Now when this is dropped into gear, that will be closed, which will then send an earth signal to this wire. So if when you drop it into gear the engine stops, what you need to do is to take this wire, disconnect it there, cut it there, and put that side of it, this wire, down to earth. Then it will always run. And then the other side of this can be supplied to a bulb and a light, 12 volt, so you've got your light that comes on for your neutral switch. So that's probably as clear as mud. I'll show you a few pictures and hopefully you'll have some idea of what you're doing, but it can be done. You just need to follow each wire through slowly to make sure it goes to where it should go, and then make the appropriate connection or disconnection on that wire. Good luck.